considering the moment we're in and that I have you and we're friends, I'm going to turn this into Ask a White Person. I mean, what do you think's going on with these white people who don't get racism, right? They think that black people are out of control, that there's no such thing as racism. Obama proved that, right? A black president proved that. What do you think's going on?
A lot, just ignorance, I guess, not understanding. A lot of white people,
they don't know
a lot of white people only grow up around other white people, so they're only taught about life, like not from the lens of anyone else. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm a white person. I grew up in a mostly white community. I figured it out. So like,
no,
like,
yeah, I mean,
I honestly, I'm not even trying to like,
right.
Not saying that for clout in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying like,
you're doing it for clout.
Like, I'm just saying that like if I just feel like I could read articles, like I could take the time to reflect on my own life and learn about other people's, like other people could do it too. They just don't know how. I don't know. I don't want to speak for everyone. I just feel like I wish more white people would just take more time right now to just reflect on how they themselves have been complicit in white supremacy. Because there is no white person in America, not even me, who it has not done that. And like, unless you're willing to confront and admit that to yourself, and like with the commitment to always keep learning and doing better, like you're part of the problem. So like, it's going to hurt. You're probably going to feel bad about yourself, guilty, ashamed, but like, that's the price you pay for being in charge of everything.
Right. And I mean, you it's our country. We all kind of feel ashamed, right? We feel ashamed that that maybe not us because we're young, but you got to think our parents and our grandparents, like, man, look what we left our kids. Look what we left this generation. But what was I going to say? I was going to say, like everybody's ignorance and everybody's education is their own responsibility. Like, I get that people are ignorant. They don't know. They haven't been exposed, right? But, you have it, what you know and what you don't know is your responsibility. And
Absolutely.
If you don't know something, you have to go find it out. You have to ask those questions.
Yeah. And like, ignorance isn't an excuse anymore. Because the moment you yourself realize you're ignorant about something, that should be a signal to you that you need to learn more.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, continuing to use ignorance as an excuse just isn't okay.
And the internet makes ignorance, almost no excuse because,
like, if I could Google search Siri. Something, anyone can.
Siri, what is the history of racism in America? I mean, boom,
Yeah.
And if you can binge watch whatever shows, you can binge watch documentaries.
Resources out there. Yeah, like podcasts, like things on Netflix. Like there's so many different resources that you could have, and just, I don't know.
Well, then it's got to be, somebody mentioned to me the book White Fragility. And it's an old, they asked me if I read it. I haven't read it, but it's an old concept, right? Of like, a lot of white people, like you said, like they don't want to ask those, like, is racism real? Because then that hurts, right?
Because then they know that they've done something wrong, or people they love around them are continuing to do things wrong.
Right.
And that might shatter their bubble a little bit.
Or that they're benefiting from this evil system, right? Like, oh man, like, they look around their house and they see that they have a nice house and they have a nice job, a nice family, everybody's healthy, and they're like, is that because I'm white? What if I was black? What if I was undocumented, right? There was on Finding Your Roots, Meryl Streep was on, and she had her DNA tested. Turns out somebody in her family was a Nazi. And she was like, you saw her flushed, right? Like, but it's like, calm down. You're not a Nazi, but that's how people feel, right? It's your ancestors.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like you just gotta, like, guilt or feeling shame doesn't mean you should lock it away in a box and never talk about it again. If you feel that way, it's probably because you need to be addressing it and talking about it and reflecting a lot more.
Yeah, that's a great message. If you want to get rid of your guilt, and this goes for anybody about anything, if you want to get rid of your guilt, examine that guilt. Why is it there? Don't bury it.
Don't run from it.
Don't
suppress it, because then you're just doing it wrong.